We did our project on SeaLamprey, myself, Shannon, Brooklyn, and Tate.
What is a sea lamprey? An adult sea lamprey has cylindrical bodies that are from 30 to 76 centimeters long with no scales. They have leathery skin that is gray to dark brown with dark blotches and a light underbelly. They have sharp teeth that radiate around, and they also have a rasper-like tongue in the center of a large sucker mouth. Fish has large eyes with 2 fins, no pelvic or pectoral fins, a single fin, and a mid-dorsal nostril, and several obvious gill openings on each side. Larvae are 18 centimeters long, blind and worm-like. They have gray to black bodies and a light underside. A larvae is 4 centimeters long or longer, and the first and second dorsal fins are distinctively separate.
Sea lamprey are now in all 5 of the Great Lakes. They are native to the Atlantic Ocean and are saltwater fish but have adapted to live in freshwater. Sea lamprey first got into the Great Lakes system in the 1800s through locks and shipping canals. They were first found in Lake Ontario in the 1830s. Before the opening of the Welland Canal in 1829 and its restoration in 1919, Niagara Falls served as a natural barrier to keep the sea lampreys out of the upper Great Lakes. They did not invade Lake Erie prior to the improvements of the Welland Canal in 1919, and were first found in Lake Erie in 1921. After spreading into Lake Erie, they moved very fast into the other Great Lakes. They appeared in Lake Michigan in 1936, Lake Huron in 1937, Lake Superior in 1938, and in the late 1940s, the sea lamprey population quickly exploded into all of the Great Lakes.
So for reproduction of the sea lamprey, their life cycle go from egg to adult with the larvae stage in between, which averages about 6 years and may last as long as 20 years. So in their larval phase, after the eggs have been hatched, small worm-like larvae are swept downstream from the nest and burrow into sand and silt. The larvae feed on the bottom debris and algae carried to them by stream currents. During this stage, this is about an average of 4 to 6 years that they spend, and they grow as a larvae to be about 6 inches. They have a transforming phase, which is after the larva stage, the sea lamprey transforms into their parasitic phase and migrate into the open waters of the Great Lakes, and this usually occurs from September to May. And at this phase, they spend the next 12 to 20 months feeding on fish. In the adult phase, the lamprey move into gravel areas and tributary systems of streams during spring and early summer. They build nests and lay eggs before dying, and the cycle starts over. A female can lay between 30,000 and 100,000 eggs. The effects of sea lamprey, they have a negative impact on the Great Lakes fishery. They're an aggressive fish and prey on native species such as trout, salmon, rainbow trout, whitefish, walleye, among other fish. They're a major cause of the collapse of lake trout and whitefish populations in the Great Lakes during the 40s and 50s before management began on the lamprey.
So lampreycides are currently the primary method to control. It's called TFM. Concentration, which it kills the sea lampreys, is at 2 parts per million. At 4 parts per million is lethal to mostly everything. Fish, invertebrates, mussels, and that. About 200 Great Lake streams are treated at regular intervals with TFM. Barriers are constructed to block upstream migration of spawning phase sea lampreys. Most barriers allow jumping fish to pass without option. Some also permit passes of non-jumping fish species while blocking other sea lampreys.
Scientists have also used pheromones to disrupt sea lamprey spawning. They use male lamprey mating pheromones to trap the female lamprey. This has increased the trapping efficiencies by up to 53%, and the baited traps can capture up to 113% more sea lamprey than unbaited traps. Illicit fishing for males is also a preferred method for juvenile lamprey sampling in shallow waters. They use a portable electrical fishing unit with an anode ring on it for this. The frequencies for these machines can be adjusted depending on if they want to just scare the lamprey out of the sediments so they can then capture them with a net, or if they want to stun them, essentially immobilizing them.
These are references.
Scientists have also used pheromones to disrupt sea lamprey spawning. They use male lamprey mating pheromones. Holy shit, like I'm actually gonna lose my shit.